Simulation Football League presents The Kramer Show. Your non-stop SFL action begins now.
Thank you once again, Mike Daggs, for, of course, that beautiful intro you have with me. And yeah, it's The Kramer Show. We're back at the second episode. Yes, we renewed for a second episode. So, yeah, we're going to probably have these weekly, which is always good content to have for simulation football because it's a really great action. A lot of people have been joining. And, of course, the action of week one picked up, and we're going to have week two here coming pretty soon. It's like once the season starts, hold on, buckle up. You're ready for a ride because it's going to be an emotional roller coaster. And we've already seen a lot of emotions, kind of get busted. You got to get people like yelling, whatnot. There's already been arguments. I mean, it's always good. You got to have those passionate people in the league that understands that, hey, this is a game. Want to have some good trash talk. But then you also have those people that are like, yeah, you know what? We should probably tone it down a little bit. You know who I'm talking about. So, yeah, let's just go back into recap the week one action to start things off on Friday. We had the Denver Nightwings taking on the Florida Storm. And, yes, the Nightwings lost 13-10. And Florida looked amazing. Florida looked like they haven't missed a beat. Yes, they only needed 13 points to defeat the Nightwings. But, I mean, if you only give up only 10 points, you better hope to win. And both teams had really good defense going, but Denver's offense could not get going at all. That's probably one of the main reasons. Josh Miller, short passes, you really can't get that done, especially if you're going against Florida, because this is a team that can go point for point with you. So Florida's a big, scary team that's going to be through all this entire season. Both played lights-out defense, and Florida's clutch fourth quarter always ends. Ron Cochran is such a clutch quarterback when it comes to the fourth quarter. Took him 2 plays to get down the field, and they kicked a game-winning field goal with 3 seconds left. Yes, 13-10. Very good defensive game. It was a great way to kick off SFL action for week one. Moving on now to Baltimore beating Seattle 33-6. So the champions from last season, the championship game, both teams lost. Nightwings lost. Seattle lost. Seattle, boy, they did not look good at all. That defense for Baltimore is killer as always. They showed last year why they were so good. Even like last year during the pretty much the second game to the semifinal game against Baltimore and Seattle, we thought that was going to happen the way it did. Baltimore made a statement. They made a statement saying, hey, we should have made it to the championship game last year, but it didn't work out that way. Seattle offense did not show up at all. Baltimore defense came into the season as a top 5 defense, and they looked like the number 1 defense. I think this is the best defense in the SFL right now. Baltimore looks like a very scary team and a team that is hungry for that championship, and I would not be surprised if they're in the championship game this year. 4 interceptions, man. 4 interceptions. A lot of interceptions week one, and that was forced. It was ridiculous. A lot of interceptions. Baltimore defeated Seattle 33-6. Now going to the nightcap, keeping going on the nightcap of week one action. Houston 30, Arizona 28. Arizona made a little push at the end of the game to pretty much make it close. I honestly thought Eddie Gage was going to pull something out of his rear end to make sure they can at least make it back because, of course, it's the line of former defensive coordinator Eddie Gage was on now in Arizona. They thought this stuff was going to happen. Houston in pretty much no-fly zone. Ethan Kai 2 interceptions. Everett Garrison 3 interceptions. Arizona battled back to tie it up, of course. And you have a questionable play call running the game-tying points. Yeah, but at the end of the game, they got the touchdown. And you decided to run in for 2. That was probably not the smart move to go right there. That's probably not the smart play call to have that play going in because you got to think that, of course, there's no fly zone that happened. But you gotta rely on that passing game, especially you can just do a little out route or make a slant towards the middle. That's something that could have easily helped tie that game and probably made it a different situation. They could have went to overtime. I'm surprised it didn't go to overtime. I thought it was, but Arizona, never say die team. They surprised me. I know I put them on my number 10 in my power rankings, but you gotta expect Arizona to make some splashes after only losing by 2 points to Houston. You cannot count Arizona out at all this year. Now let's go on to the 5-game action on Saturday. Charleston and London started the day off, and Charleston's defense looked amazing. They won 34-10. Charleston, this is a team that when everything clicks for them, like offense and defense, kind of like how it did for this game, this is another scary team. I can see this team making a push into the playoffs and possibly make it to the championship game too. I would not be surprised right now if I even make the prediction that it could be Baltimore and Charleston going at it in the championship game, because these two teams, one's a very quiet team as in Charleston, and Baltimore is a very good defensive team. I would not be surprised to see both those guys in the championship. That both those teams are so good. And I feel bad for London right now. It seems like nothing can go right their way. There's a lot of changes, a lot of new people in London, so things are going to have to work out, and I feel like this coming week it will. You just got to think. Charleston's a very good team. They're a very good defensive and offensive team. So, once again, Charleston defeated London 34-10. Coming up next, Mexico City versus Las Vegas. Mexico City won 37-23. Mexico City's offense doesn't skip a beat, of course, from last season. This is another offensive-heavy team and defensive-heavy team. Ray Bentley had only one target, no carries in the first half, which is kind of impressive to think that Ray Bentley, the Hall of Famer, did not get any touches. Like, it's weird. You got to think that there's a different offensive scheme going on in Mexico City. Maybe they're a pass-first team now instead of a run-first team, which is kind of very surprising. Las Vegas has 3 drives that stalled out. You really can't have that, and they settle for field goals. You gotta do more than field goals. This is a very fast-paced league to where you can get put down in points very quickly, and field goals aren't going to cut it. I mean, I'm a kicker. I enjoy doing the field goals. It helps out the kicking stats and whatnot, but you got to score touchdowns, and you got to think. You got to go toe for toe with one of the best offensive heavy teams. Stephen Molyneux, the head coach and OC, loses to his former team. So Stephen Molyneux in Las Vegas now. It's kind of odd to think that there's something fishy. I'm not sure. I didn't dive deep into the action of why he left Mexico City. I really don't care, to be honest. But it's weird to think that a guy that helped that team out so much is now somewhere else in Las Vegas. It's weird. It's just weird. So Mexico City 37, Las Vegas 23. Carolina Skyhawks, stellar victory. Tremendous victory, actually, against St. Louis. It was 35-28. 5 field goals from your neighborhood friend Wally. Wally probably, I think, is the leading kicker in the SFL. He had 5 made field goals on 5 attempts, which is very good. And a pick 6 to, pretty much in the game. And by the way, I have video of that, so we'll play that right now.
20 seconds left. One timeout. As you said, Dan. They got their own 42-yard line, not in field goal range yet. That's all they have to do is get in field goal range. 4 wide receivers for Pickler as he drops back the pass, fires to his left, right away. It's picked off! He's going to take it to the house! Carolina goes sky high! Once again, Zane Doty with the pick 6! Wow!
That's insane! I have no other words.
Carolina 35, St. Louis 28 to finish that game up. Now on to Vancouver and New Orleans. Vancouver defeated New Orleans 41-16. Sudo Nakai, 18 rushes for 117 yards and a score. I talked to him after the game, quoted saying, "Tired. I am so exhausted," which that's pretty funny. That Sudo Nakai is like he's tired. I mean, this is a guy that you don't expect him busting up 100 yards, especially on 18 carries. That's a pretty good stat line, no lie. And a score. Tom Pepper looked like Tom Pepper. Vancouver's going to be a scary team to watch out for. Jot that down. They're going to be a team you need to look out for the way that they played against New Orleans. Vancouver 41, New Orleans 16. Tulsa 30, Chicago 29. Tulsa, which is kind of good, too, because I have Deacon Nickens on the show later on today. So, you got Deacon Nickens, man, he threw a Hail Mary. There was a lot of action going on in the Chicago Wildcats game. You got to defend the Hail Mary. It was ridiculous. Here's the clip of how ridiculous it was.
A pretty good ball on the opening Hail Mary at the end of the half. Well protected here. Nickens going to heave this one deep. Not quite there. Oh! He caught it! He caught it! Somehow Corey Jones caught the touchdown, and Tulsa is in the lead. They're going to win.
Nickens leads him, gets him with the pass that only he can catch. Just a dramatic.
Tulsa 30, Chicago 29 to finish that game up. And that was your Saturday action, and your next 2 games happened on Monday. Let's start off with Atlanta 27 defeating Jacksonville 20. This was a weird game. This was a game that had defensive mishaps. They had defensive plays that were good. They also had very good offensive mishaps. It was just a weird game, weird setting, but the fact that they had a total of 47 points the entire game, which is kind of impressive. But the quarterbacks, I mean, Marcus Dunhill looked decent towards the end of the game, but throughout the entire game, it just interception after interception, it seemed like. And defenses plays good, but it seemed like all the games this season so far in Week 1 action had to end up on that final drive in the fourth quarter, which is good. That means you got, like I said, buckle up. You're ready for it right here in the Simulation Football League, because you never know what you're going to get. You never know if you're going to get a walk-off victory or you're going to get a blowout win. Most of the times it's pretty darn close, but Atlanta just gave them by. They made it through. They won on a final drive score, so 27-20, Atlanta defeating Jacksonville. Sioux Falls 22 to Queen City's 21. This is another game that was down to the wire the entire game. The defenses played so well for the teams. They also had that other walk-off victory as Sioux Falls made that little swing route out to the left to the running back and boom, touchdown. That's just how it made it way. I actually think I might have a clip here, so let's just play that clip.
Get a shot on Julian Tyree to end this one. Tyree under center with split backs in the backfield. Tyree looking to throw. Checks it down to Colin Hart. Oh! Jalen Wells into the end zone for a Sioux Falls touchdown, and they have tied it up with 6 seconds to go. The fullback with his second career touchdown.
Sioux Falls 22, Queen City 21. That was all your Week 1 matchup games so far in the league, and you got to think Week 2 is coming around the corner. But before we get to Week 2, my predictions of what's going to happen for Week 2. Let's just go over what's happening in the SFL community. Over 110 people. Yes, I was counting 110 people. I'm pretty sure there's a little bit more that has approached into the SFL journey. 110 people joined. That's a tremendous amount of people that have actually made it into this league, actually watched and whatnot, and decided to watch and decided to join the league, because you're the next person coming in. You are the next talent, the next rookie, because there's some exciting things happening that's going to be coming forward to the SFL, and the fact that there's non-contract signings this week, as by the time this should come out, there should already be some non-contract people already getting things intermingled and whatnot. But if you're a new rookie coming in or a new prospect in the SFL draft, what is something that you need to do? And here's something that you could do in order to gain that value, gain that trustworthiness, and all that jazz. So this is what you could do. Post in the introductions channel in Discord. Please post in the introductions channel. Make sure you say how you found the league, what you plan on doing, what position that you like to play, and what position that you'd prefer to play. And make sure you have that broad stretch of, because you want to be a utility guy, so you can at least fill into a role real quick if you want to be able to fill out that non-contract role. And also there's player openings so far too, so make sure you check a look at that, because you never know if teams could reach out to you. But that's the thing. Don't let teams reach out to you. Yes, you may be new into the league, but you should be reaching out to owners and general managers. That's one of the key points. And as a general manager of the Denver Nightwings, I like that about players that reach out to me saying, "Hey, I'm new. Let me know like how I can join this team," because there's 20 teams in the SFL, so at least 20 new non-contract players could be signed to a team. That's tremendous. So think about that. There's 11 weeks into where you can sign the non-contract rookies. I'm not going to do that simple math real quick, but that's a lot. That's what, 20 times 11? That's 220. I did simple math. Yeah, I should have been a math major. But there's the chance of all these new people coming in. Just please reach out to owners and general managers saying, "Hey, can I play for your team? Hey, what can I do to play for your team? There's something I can do to help and play for your team." So make sure you're talking to the players on the community. You don't have to just talk to the owners and general managers. I mean, everybody has a roster full of 17 players. Why don't you reach out to one of those guys? I know there's a lot of people that, I mean, you still see those common people in the general chat that talk almost the entire time of the day. So reach out to, like, say, a Doug Day or somebody like that. I see him all the time late at night. Why don't you reach out to him, because he was, let me tell you this, he was a non-contract guy last year that ended up getting a contract mid-season with Vancouver. So you got to think, there's some talented players right now in the SFL that just came in last year. So do it. Yeah, there's no reason for you to sit around and wait for someone to reach out to you, because that right there shows that you're really, this is as a general manager thinking. If no one's reaching out to you and they have to come to you, it doesn't seem like you're interested. So you got to make sure that you can show that you're interested in playing in the SFL and wanting to join a team. So make yourself known. Please have a great time. Look at player openings, of course, but make sure you make yourself known. And who cares if people think you're obnoxious? That sticks out. Make YouTube videos, make Twitter posts. It's totally up to you. Make yourself known in the SFL. As I wipe the spit off my mouth, you got to make sure you make yourself known. All right, that's what rookies should do. Once again, over 110 people have joined. That's amazing for just a 7-day, not even a 7 days. That was from Friday to Monday night after the Sioux Falls Queen City game. So that's tremendous. That's a lot of people joining. Moving on. Sector 6, the SFL home for apparel, finally released the Carolina Skyhawks. Sick, very sick apparel. As a Denver Nightwing, I think Jeremy's mad at me for saying I want to get some of those, but then again, I also want the Jacksonville Kings. Those are some sick uniforms too. I'm going to have, not uniforms, but apparel. So I'm going to put those somewhere around here. I'll probably have one of the sides will have either Carolina and Jacksonville. So really good apparel. You got to check out Sector 6 to look at SFL apparel. All right, now going on to the Week 2 action. Let's just start from top to bottom. I pulled this off of the schedule on the SFL website, simulationfl.net, to check out everything if you didn't even already know that. So Charleston Predators 1-0 against Vancouver. They're 1-0. I'm giving the edge to Charleston in this game. Let's go quick because I'm running low on time. Let's go to the 1-0 Houston Hyenas now at the Sioux Falls Sparrows, who is also 1-0. I'm going with Houston. Let's go with Road Dogs these first 2 games. How about this? Let's go with Road Dogs in the next 3 games. Carolina Skyhawks at New Orleans. Give me Carolina on this. I know New Orleans is the first team on this little list I'm going down that's 0-1. They showed some promise last week, even though it was kind of a little, it wasn't that great, but still, I give me Carolina in this one. Now 0-1, Las Vegas at Atlanta. Give me Atlanta. Atlanta's Marcus Dunhill's good. He's a good quarterback. Trust me on that. Watch Marcus Dunhill play. Tulsa Desperados in Arizona. I feel like Arizona's going to get that first home victory, and they're going to get that first win in the SFL. 0-1 St. Louis Gladiators in London taking on the Knights, who are also 0-1. I hope Johnny Pickler revives himself from last game from throwing that pick 6 at the end of the game. But I'm giving London on this. Jacksonville Kings at the Florida Storm. The Battle of Florida is happening in Week 2 action. Give me Florida Storm. Mighty, you're ridiculous. You know how to coach very well. It's good luck against Mighty. I hope Jacksonville wins, though, because it's always nice to see the Storm lose. Baltimore Vultures going on, who's 1-0, taking on the 1-0 Mexico City Aztecs. This could possibly be the preview to the championship game this coming season. I'm telling you this right now. Baltimore's going to be in the championship game this coming season. They're way too damn good. Unless something drastic happens mid-season that just spirals them downwards. I don't think that'll happen, but Baltimore is a very good team. Give me Baltimore over Mexico City. 0-1 Chicago Wildcats taking on the 0-1 Queen City Corsairs. I think I'm even pronouncing that right. Not sure. Give me the Chicago Wildcats. It was a heartbreak losing off a Hail Mary against Tulsa. I think they'll get it done on the road this week. Now we got Denver Nightwings taking on the Seattle Tyrants. Both are 0-1. This is the championship game from last season. Got to think this is going to be a lot of buzz and a lot of hype going around it as the teams finally get to see who can get their first victory. Both offense look staggered and not that great in Week 1, so I'd say give me Denver. That defense is too strong, and the way that the defense on Baltimore shut out Seattle pretty much, that's why I'm giving the edge right there to Denver. So that is this part of the Kramer Show. Coming up next, or coming up later on in the show, I should have previewed this beforehand, but we have interviews of Jeremy Vega, the Denver Nightwings owner. We have James Klein, the Carolina Skyhawks owner. And we also have the quarterback Deacon Nickens coming on the show as well. So make sure you click on those videos after this. So this has been the first part of the Kramer Show. We'll be right back. There is more of the Kramer Show coming up.